Who likes to lose? You show me a good loser, and I'm gonna show you a loser.
Cut it. So with a phony chamber, cause one's got a weasel and other's got a flag. One's on the pole, shove the other in a bag with the shows and the cocaine doja.
Could anybody have lost any worse than this guy? Really? Whatever. Good evening. Good morning, whenever you're listening to this. Welcome to the Trifectas Unleashed, presented by Real Take No Holds Barred Sports. I am Cam Newton. Never mind. I'm done. I quit. Just kidding. Welcome to the Trifectas Unleashed, presented by Real Take No Holds Barred Sports. Again, Alex Washington, a.k.a. A-Wash, coming in hot from Dirty Ass Basement Studios. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Real Take Nation? Got a little bit to talk about today. Obviously, this Cam Newton thing has been a bit of a hot topic since he stormed off the podium in the middle of an interview. He heard some players talking about their game plan, how they were going to make Cam throw, and yada, 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 and he couldn't take it, couldn't lick his wounds and move on, but whatever, we'll get into that in a little bit. We're going to face the nation, as we do every show. We got some really good questions today, actually. A lot of hot topics, a lot of debates on the page today. Really, really enjoy it. I think all three of us really enjoy it. Wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. But let me just say we got some NBA finally, and Adam's got a nice juicy rumor from the. I'm not going to tell you what sport it is, but he's still got a nice juicy rumor for you. So just stay tuned for that. So, speaking of Adam, he's coming in from Lisbon. Adam, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Alex? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm cold. Still dealing with the snow, but, you know, we're making it through.
Yep. It's pretty slow day at sports today, huh?
Yeah. It's been a real slow day.
Yeah. Pretty crazy how the Super Bowl's over and the NFL has still taken over this.
Well, all it took was a half ounce of respect for the media and his peers and all that stuff, but we'll get into it, whatever. And speaking of legends in their own mind, we got number 6 from the ESPN rankings, Larry Bird, coming in from Portland. Chris Allen. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
One question for you guys.
What's up?
If Peyton Manning ends up retiring, does that mean his head's going to shrink back to the normal size?
You know what? If you look at Barry Bonds, his forehead is getting smaller, so if it happens to him, I'd like to think it happened to Peyton. Maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe it's only like, I don't know, 7 inches long or high instead of like 12. So
I bet you his head will shrink and his gut will get bigger now that he's eating all that Papa John's and Budweiser.
Better ingredients, somewhat better pizza,
crappy beer,
17 interceptions.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, I'm doing great.
Good to have you on, man. Good to have you on. So, let's get right into it, man. Wait, should we face the nation first, or do you want to get into the Cam? Up to you guys.
I feel like we should face the nation.
You want to face the nation first, then we'll talk some Cam?
Yeah, let's see what they got going on.
All right, let's do it. Let's just face the nation. We're going to get some face the nation music here pretty soon. I think got a pretty good idea for that, but let's face the nation. Got a good one from Elijah here. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, this one's going to be for Adam. All right.
Hashtag blame Chris.
All right, so my buddy Elijah wants to hear from Adam. He wants to know, and it's a really, really, really good question, and I think we should all kind of chime in on this if we have a chance, but he's talking about the Heisman Trophy and its winners, okay? His question / statement is, if you look at the last 10 Heisman winners, okay, in regards to the opinion of the Heisman Trophy, excluding Derrick Henry, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Johnny Manziel, RG3, Cam Newton, Mark Ingram, Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow, and Troy Smith. None of them have really lived up to past winners like Barry Sanders, Charles Woodson, just to name a few, not to mention the off-field incidents with recent winners. Is getting the award losing its relevance, or the wrong guys getting it? So before we begin on this answer, I'm going to exclude famous Jameis, Mariota, because it's their second year, so we don't really know yet. Cam just won MVP. Mark Ingram, we'll leave the rest up to you, Adam. But what do you think, man? Is it losing its luster? Are the wrong people getting it? What's up?
I don't think it's losing its luster, and I think the right people get it. It's just there's such a difference between the college and pro game. Like just within the last 10 years, the quarterbacks that you named, they're all spread them out, run first quarterbacks. That doesn't work in the NFL. You have to be able to throw the ball. Like Cam and Mariota, they can run, but they can both throw pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
Just so it's a system thing for me.
Oh, I agree fully.
But if you go back further, I mean, really, not many Heisman trophies have lived up to the expectation.
Oh, like you look at Charlie Ward, just to name one. You know what I mean? Like the guy was supposed to be the next greatest thing, and he ended up playing basketball. So
Look at Andre Ware.
ooh, that's a perfect one. That's a perfect one. So like,
Yeah, I mean,
what the hell is going on? Like, are the right people making it, and they're just not NFL type players? Like, what is it?
yeah. Well, they just pretty much, from what I've seen over the years, they always give it to the best player. It's not always the most outstanding player like it's supposed to be. Like this past year, I know you and Chris are on the Christian McCaffrey.
He should have had it.
He should have won.
Yeah, he should have. Like,
So, but Alabama was the best team, and Derrick Henry was the reason that they won all the games. That's why he got the Heisman Trophy.
so, like, do you see him being like a top running back when he comes out?
I think he's going to be a good running back. I don't
know.
see Adrian Peterson on him at all.
I don't know. It's just so weird because Elijah brings up a good point because he's looking at the past 10, but let's just look at it as a whole. I mean, a lot of these people just don't pay. Eric Crouch, Heisman winner, didn't do anything. He had to change positions.
He refused to change positions. That was what his problem was. That every team that wanted to draft him wanted
Right.
special team wide receiver. Hey, Adam, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
Now we were talking about Derrick Henry. Now, can you explain? And I'm not trying to be a smartass, but can you explain the difficult nature that the running backs for Alabama have going into the NFL? Because if you look right down the sheet, there's not a whole lot of them that have actually really been successful. I mean, do you chalk that up to also a system that Alabama is running that doesn't transition into the pros?
No, they run a pro style offense, but and Nick Saban recruits so well. Their offense is gigantic, and they just manhandle every team that they play. And when you get to the NFL level, the defenses are just as good. So your offensive line's not gonna throw around everybody. You're not gonna get 4 foot wide holes to run through. So you have to adjust your game a little bit. And some of the Alabama running backs haven't really been able to do that. And Mark Ingram, I mean, he's a good running back, but he just happens to play in New Orleans, which is a 90% pass style offense.
Yeah, I'll give you Ingram, but I mean,
But you almost couldn't. You almost couldn't give him Ingram until the last year and a half.
And he's also had health issues, but you can't really blame that on Alabama, though.
No. But Eddie Lacy looks like a nose tackle right now. Looks
Yeah,
like he gave up.
Before this year, he was good.
He's gonna start doing P90X, I hear. So if he gets
Yes.
in shape, I think Lacy's might be the difference in what we're talking about. He is a really good back, but I'm interested in size if he can hold up and take the pounding in the NFL and to see how he transitions into the league.
Yep.
I mean, I'll go back to let's see, 2000, and I'm looking at the list of the Heisman winners, and I I'm going to exclude Jameis and Mariota because, like you said, it's only going to be their second year. But I really only see Cam and Palmer that have had any decent NFL career.
So, like for me, I look at just system. Like
Are we
you like you
are we
referred
just
to.
talking? Are we talking quarterbacks? Or are we talking anybody?
Anybody.
When Peyton Manning was in college, he didn't win the Heisman, did he?
No.
Who won the Heisman that year? Charles Woodson.
Yes.
He's got he's probably had the best career out of any of those guys.
Yeah, I would say so. Unless he
Out of
named
all
someone.
the Heisman Trophy winners ever?
No,
What's
just
that?
since 2000
Not out of-
or a little
oh.
bit earlier, but
I guess from 1990 on, I could see that, but I mean, there was obviously some guys before him, like Barry Sanders, which Elijah brought up, Tim
Yep.
Brown.
yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
But as far as I like to. We were talking about this off air earlier. I sometimes like to use longevity as part of my case that I would state, and
there's nothing wrong with that.
and Charles Woodson is somebody that you can use that as an example. I mean,
Christ,
he's had a
been in the
long
league for
career.
like 20 years.
Exactly, and he's still probably he doesn't really have to retire. He's still playing at a high level.
Yeah, he could play. He could play right now, and what's funny is I would actually take him on my team if I could.
Yeah. So, but I absolutely agree with you. I mean, Barry Sanders. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, Ricky Williams is another one.
Yep.
You know,
Flamed out,
these are
but he
guys
had some
that-
good
these are
years,
guys
but
that
flamed
careers
out.
Get cut short.
Yep.
You know?
I would just attribute it really to just whatever system you're in, because these college teams, just like Adam referred to, that they want to run and gun, get up to the line, snap it, and throw it to a wide receiver, for 3 yards, who can turn it into a 43-yard gain. So I put a lot of it on the system.
Besides the system, there's big time college programs. There's such a talent differential between one team or the other. Like Alabama, I mean, they play a bunch of cupcakes, just like all the big schools. They play at least 2 cupcakes every year.
Yep.
That's where a lot of guys pad their stats. In the NFL, I mean, there's obviously some bad teams, but the talent differential is not that great.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you on in the NFL. Even and then you have people that come up with these arguments all the time, and you get a lot of it in college basketball. But you get a lot of like, could the worst team in the NBA or the worst team in the NFL play against the best team in college or the best team in in the NCAA football, and could they actually put up a fight? And the answer is not.
It should be. If you say anything other than no, then you don't know anything.
The Cleveland Browns would have beat Alabama by 50, if not
Yep.
more.
And in the same token, like the Knicks last year would have beat the piss out of Kentucky. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Agreed. Wow. Topic we all agree on for once. Wow. That's good.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy. We should go out to the moon or something.
Nice.
That's a hashtag blame Chris right there.
Yes. Hashtag blame Chris for all three of us agreeing on a topic.
Hey, when Donald Trump becomes president, are you guys going to blame me also?
Yes.
No, because I'm leaning that way.
Oh, my father-in-law is going to kill you. He's a Bernie guy. He feels the burn. So
Oh my God.
I'm just going to leave it there, dude.
We won't get into that on this show.
Yeah, we don't want to lose the audience.
I think Adam has a Chris question.
I do.
What you got? So that's a good question, Elijah.
Yes, it was, Elijah. Good job. Chris,
Yes, sir.
Nate from my town, Lisbon, wants to know, with the injury to Jimmy Butler, he's going to miss the next 3 to 4 weeks. Can Derrick Rose turn into of old and guide his team into the playoffs? They're sitting at a 7 seed right now.
Yeah, you guys, we've talked about this endless times. You guys know how I feel about Derrick Rose. I liked him when he was in Memphis. I liked him when he was the Derrick Rose before the injuries.
My wife likes him, so be careful.
See, in Michaela, I like him. But that's the thing. The problem is that Derrick Rose has been showing flashes of the Derrick Rose of old, but the big thing is that these flashes are very streaky and come and go, and without Butler in their lineup, they're going to Rose to play that way like every game, and we don't even know if Derrick Rose can play every game. So
Yeah.
I think that the answer to the question is I'm going to have to say no, and that hurts me to say that because I do like Rose, but I just don't see him staying at that consistent, dominant MVP type of player night in and night out. I mean, I think he can do it once or twice a week, and it's not going to be enough for the Bulls. And unfortunately for them, if Butler doesn't find themselves on the outside looking in.
What does Derrick Rose really have to do? Like, because, you know, we talk about the Eastern Conference being weaker than the Western, which is probably true, more than likely true. But if Derrick Rose is going to will them into a playoff seed before Jimmy Buckets gets back, like, what does he have to average? Does he have to average 25 and 8 or like 20 and 12? Like, what does he have to average?
He has to play. He has to play like the MVP type of player that he played. He has to be the leader, not off the court. And lately with Derrick Rose, he's been a terrible leader off the court. He's made a lot of bad decisions, saying that when he doesn't want to be too sore when he has to sit in meetings, and just examples like that. It's just, I just don't see him being able to take them and carry them for the next 4 weeks. He'd have to. I mean, it's not even necessarily the amount of points he has to average. It's more the leadership ability that has somewhat escaped him over the last 3 or 4 years with these injuries and all the stuff in the media that he just keeps shooting himself in the foot, and it's unfortunate because he was a heck of a talent, and but I just keep watching him. Just he pulls me back in a little bit, and then he lets me down every single year.
You know what I think the problem is? I think the problem is that this team isn't his anymore. Like, Jimmy Butler is the best player on the team. Derrick Rose might not even be the second best player on the team. Pau Gasol is having a really, really, really good year, and probably just as important as Jimmy Butler is. But I see a lazy Derrick Rose because this isn't his team anymore.
And it's really too bad because Derrick Rose, I mean, whether you like him or not, before the first real serious injury, he was a dominant player. He was a player that was going to be seen upon as one of the best players of all time in the NBA. A lot of people was possibly towards being better than a LeBron, and as much as that hurts Adam to hear that, but it's true. I mean,
well, them people are idiots.
Well, yeah. I didn't say I agree with them, but I'm just saying. And then you get the major knee injury, and then another knee injury, and then now he just can't stay healthy. Now, Alex, I mean, and Adam, you both can answer this question. I mean, honestly, after I've given you my analysis on this, I mean, do you really feel like Derrick Rose can play night in and night out without sustaining some sort of an injury?
Nope. I can say that with confidence. Because he'll sit there and say he's too. He even, like you said, he's too sore. So why the hell would he play the next game? That to me is not a leader. To me, he's given up. So.
Oh yeah, he's clearly not a. That is definite. Now whether or not he can still be a player or not, like I said, he still shows moments of
brilliance, and then he comes back the next day and gets like 8 points and like one assist. I mean, he's just done it all year long.
I think Adam will agree with me is that he's got, and you will too, is that he's got father time on his side. It's not like he's a 32, 33-year-old, coming off a serious knee injury. He's what, 25, 26, maybe?
Yeah, he could be like a Grant Hill. I mean, look at Grant Hill. I mean, Grant Hill, superstar, right? Just could not stay healthy. But then on the back end of Grant Hill's career, he made the most out of what he could do with his body, and he had quite an ending to a career. Would you agree?
Yeah, when he was with the Suns, he made something out of nothing. I was happy for Grant Hill. I like Grant Hill.
Yeah.
Adam, what does Derrick Rose got to do, dude?
I think the problem with Derrick Rose is he's in his own head.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Ever since the injuries happened, he's just not the same player. He used to be attack the basket type of guy, and he was one of the best finishers at the rim for a point guard that I think I've ever seen. Doesn't matter who was in there, he get into the hole.
It's probably
and since he hurt himself,
it's like close to Iverson as you could get.
Only bigger only bigger and more athletic. I mean,
Yep.
and that's saying a lot because Iverson was extremely athletic.
But he was confident.
So with that being said, now that he's scared to drive the hole on a consistent basis, he hasn't worked hard enough to develop other parts of his game. Like his jump shot is suspect at best.
Yep.
So like he should be in the gym every day, couple hundred shots, if not more, to try to develop a better jump shot because it's terrible.
Unfortunately, he's in the doing jump shots. He's lifting weights. I mean, obviously he's got quite the physique on him, but I don't think he's taking jump shots. I think he's just pumping iron, to be honest with you.
No, he needs to take
that's
jumpers.
Not going to game out.
No, I didn't. No, I know it won't.
Well, he's in the trainer's room. He's friggin' never healthy.
Yeah.
Whatever. That was a good question. Nate.
You have to admit, I mean, as far as like physiques goes, he's got one of the better ones in the NBA. I mean, he's definitely hits the weights. I'm just saying, like, he's not like Adam was saying. He should be shooting 300 jumpers. Instead, he's probably benching 300 times. You know what I mean?
And what he should do is take jumpers and do yoga.
Yeah.
Teddy Bruschi did yoga.
Yep.
Not that it has anything
All
to
right,
do with
Alex.
basketball. But that was a good question, Nate. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Alex.
All right.
Comes from Carlos in Daytona Beach.
What? Carlos.
And
What's up, buddy?
He would like to know, with the suspension of Blake Griffin,
He got 4 games. Do you think that was justified? And if so, why? And if it wasn't, how many should he have gotten?
I would say it wasn't justified. I think he should have got more than that. 4 games, like a team suspension for literally beating the shit out of a member of your team, and you get 4 games. To me, that's bogus. I'd like to think that the owner, the GM, whoever, Doc, would have got together and thought that, hey, maybe this isn't a good look for our franchise, so maybe we should suspend him 10 games without pay and, I wouldn't say, make an ass of him, but make an example of him. Like, we're not going to tolerate this. My next question, would be, is the NBA going to step in? Are they going to suspend him for, conduct detrimental to the team? Because they have a what is it? Domestic dispute policy themselves. So are they going to be able to step in and say, okay, well, you're going to give them 4 games, so we're going to give them an additional 4 or 5 games? But to answer your question, Carlos, I would say, hell no. This to me isn't justified at all. Beating the shit out of a team member, whether it's a player, a coach, training staff, I don't care if they own a piece of stock in the Clippers organization. If you put your hands on a member of your team, you should automatically get more than what Blake Griffin got. And I'm going to say, if it was someone like, who the hell's on the team that doesn't play?
If it was somebody, maybe we'd be sitting in a jail cell right now.
Well, right. I'm trying to think of someone that's not really good that's on that team. Like Lance Stevenson, I guess he's a role player when he used to be really good. But if he put his hands on someone on that team, he might even be suspended for the rest of the year. He'd be suspended for the rest of the year. But because Blake's got the name, you're going to give him 4 games. Come on, dude. That's a terrible call, man.
It's an embarrassment to the league that they've.
It's embarrassing.
It's an embarrassment to Blake Griffin that he did this.
Yeah, but it's an embarrassment.
Absolutely.
To the league. It's an embarrassment to the league for them to come out with the 4 games. I mean, come on.
No, the Clippers
All right,
self-imposed this. The Clippers suspended him 4 games.
Oh, it was the Clippers that suspended?
Yes. It was only 4 games.
Then it's even worse.
Yeah, this looks bad for the Clippers, and Blake Griffin got away with not playing for another week. Whatever, he break his hand, so he's out 4 to 6 weeks. So he's getting game checks right now. He should be suspended for that whole time, not getting game checks.
What's he getting? 5 games without pay?
4.
Oh, okay.
And Adam even told me his salary. He told me he's missing out $859,000.
Which is $20 for you and me.
Yeah, pretty much. Unbelievable. That's a good question, Carlos, but that's a bad call on the Clippers.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off that question real quick.
Do it.
Word around the league is Blake Griffin's a soft guy. Do you think this was any in his mind, a way to make him seem the badass throughout the league?
Well,
Or do you think the other players just look at him as a joke and think it was stupid?
I would
I
go
don't
with the latter. Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think he was thinking either way. I think clearly he wasn't, because he risked all of his. I mean, Blake Griffin has lots of endorsements, and so I think he wasn't thinking at all. I don't think he was thinking like, oh, this is going to make me have a tough image now. I mean, clearly if you strike the equipment manager who's half your size, that doesn't mean
Right.
anything. And I just feel like he obviously lost his cool, made a big mistake, and the biggest mistake he made was chasing him out the restaurant and doing it again.
Grow up. Like, just whatever he's saying, man. Like, you want to handle it. You know this stuff's going to get out. It doesn't matter. Like, the guy is a star in his own right. The name in itself is a star. So something like this is going to get leaked no matter how you look at it. So I put this all on Blake, man.
If he had just if it had just been the incident in the restaurant and he didn't chase him out, I mean, they might have been able to sweep that under the rug. But because
Right.
he been seen and chased him out of the restaurant,
Right.
it just made him look that much.
Made him
much
look like a
worse.
jackass.
Look at the size. Look at the size of Blake Griffin.
Yep. He's going to get traded, by the way. I think he's going to get
Yeah,
traded.
I think he is too. I just don't know for who. They're going to have to try. They got to get something for him.
I keep hearing the Nuggets. How about that?
For who? For who though?
Probably everybody on that roster.
You know what
I seriously
you know
keep
what I
hearing the
heard?
Nuggets.
You know what I heard today?
For everybody they got for Carmelo.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I heard today, Alex?
What?
What's the hot player for Toronto? Is it DeMar
DeRozan?
Yeah, I heard that Danny's looking at him in the offseason to acquire him, and I can't remember who they were talking about, but they want to get that guy in there and draft pick and try to build around draft pick and Isaiah.
You know what? It's funny that you say DeMar DeRozan. I was literally talking to Adam after he got back to the shop tonight, saying that to me, Dwight Howard isn't going to solve any of the Celtics' problems. If they got Dwight, the only thing would be like they'd still need someone else. They need someone that's like 6'7", 6'8", 6'6", that's a wing scorer that can score consistently. And I threw DeMar DeRozan's name out there because he's a free agent at the end of the year. I think he'd be a really good fit here.
Yeah, and then I see the idea of JJ Redick.
I don't know, man. Like, I know he's a really good shooter, and I know that's like what Celtics need, but
He plays good defense. He's athletic. He's not just a good shooter. I think he's a pretty good all around player.
He can't dribble. Like, to me, your best player should be able to dribble. Like, your best shooter.
No. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say he was going to be our best player. I'm just saying you bring him along with our best player, and that's how I would like him. I mean, he's not a terrible dribbler, but he's definitely not the guy I want handling the ball.
Who would you rather have, J.J. Redick or DeMar DeRozan?
Well, I'd probably rather have. I think Redick's a better shooter, but DeRozan's probably a better all-around player.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Okay. Are we done with Face the Nation?
I think we're done, man. Those were 3 really, really good questions. So we appreciate everybody forwarding us some good questions to talk about, man. Appreciate it.
Now I got one for you guys, and I saw this today twice, and it's been bugging me all day.
All right.
How do you feel about people wearing shirts or jerseys of players that are no longer on that team? Like, it drives me absolutely crazy. Like,
Really?
for example, today I saw 2 gentlemen. One had a Patriots Shane Vereen shirt on, and the other one had a Red Sox Jacoby Ellsbury shirt on.
Oh my God!
And I almost
guy
wanted
over.
to smack the hell out of both of them.
Especially the Ellsbury. Jesus, I would have run him right over with my car if I saw him.
I get it. But, like, think of it this way. That guy might not have had the money to be able to buy a Patriots Shane Vereen jersey when he was on the Patriots. He saw it on clearance. What if he really liked Shane Vereen? Like, I still wear my Paul Pierce Celtics jersey all the time. Would you try to kick my ass then? So we're going to have a real problem.
I guess that's a little different because Pierce is like a Celtics legend, but Shane Vereen was a role player on the Patriots. He plays for the Giants. Ellsbury was a role player for the Red Sox, and he plays for your hated rival.
Yeah, I got you. I don't wear him. I have a Jacoby shirt, but that was when he was number 46. I don't wear it. So I get what you're saying, dude. Like, I could see it on both aspects, really. I mean, my brother got me a Vince Wilfork jersey the year that he left. So, and it's authentic. So, whatever. I
guess it's just a little pet of mine.
Chris, would you care? Like, well, I mean, I know you don't like Jacoby anymore, but
I mean, the second a player leaves with him, but I don't have a problem with somebody wearing the jersey. I mean, it's kind of funny. You see something like you still see little. I have a LeBron Heat jersey, and it's not the original jersey, but it's a T-shirt, and I still wear it sometimes. I mean, I was just
about to say, doesn't Adam have like every jersey that LeBron's ever owned?
He's got like the old Cavs jersey, the new Cavs jersey, the old Heat jersey. He's probably got the what was it, St. Mary's? Where did he go to?
St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Adam's wearing his LeBron Heat jersey right now.
I'll just start.
It's like having a Michael Jordan Wizards jersey. I don't know how I feel about.
I would wear that.
You'd wear that?
Yeah.
Chris, you need to take that LeBron Heat shirt and put it on the wall.
Okay, I'm on it.
You guys are unbelievable.
So every night before you go to bed, you can pray to the greatest basketball player to ever lace up some shoes.
I'm going to stop this podcast right now because I'm going to throw up.
I didn't say I had a Michael Jordan shirt. I said I had a LeBron shirt.
This is terrible.
That is a debate. That's a debate for another show.
Yeah, I really want to debate it now, but we only got like 10 or 15 minutes, so I'm going to come at you with some of that crap, so whatever. So we're done with Face the Nation. Again, thank you, everybody, for the questions. We'll get everybody's on the next Face the Nation. I think we may do a full Face the Nation on Friday. We're getting tons of questions from people, so again, keep them coming in, guys. Appreciate it. So let's get into the hot topic today, and then maybe we'll be able to get into a little bit more NBA with the trade deadline coming up and everything. But Cam Newton, what can you really say? The guy keeps digging himself a bigger hole by the hour, by the minute, by the second. Obviously, you guys know what it is. I started the show with one of the quotes from the sore loser himself. My opinion on this guy has changed so much within the last 36 hours. It's unbelievable. Like, for me, all you had to do was just suck it up, deal with your loss, tell the media that I'm going to come back better, I'm going to come back stronger, we're going to learn from this experience, and we're going to come back here, and next time we'll win it. Or next time we're going to fight our asses off to win it. Like, how difficult is it for him or anyone to say something like that? Like, just think about it. It's harmless. Like, but the stuff that he's saying, he just looks like a complete jackass. And I don't know about you guys, but my respect for him has gone from, on a scale of 10, from a 5 to about a negative 32.
Yeah. It's a typical response I would expect out of the younger generation
Spoiled,
of
rotten.
athlete. They're spoiled. They're entitled. They if it does, they don't know how to handle it. When it's going their way, they're quick to rub it in your face, but
Oh, yeah.
they want to run and hide when it doesn't go their way. And I'm at my loss a lot, even though I've never liked him because he does play in my division. But I mean, this was a joke. It's like he's supposed to be, quote unquote, the new face of the league, and
Right.
That's not how you're supposed to act.
Grow up.
If Carolina wins that game, Peyton Manning stands up and he does his 15 minutes and answers all the questions. If Tom Brady was in that Super Bowl and he lost, he stands up and he answers those questions.
if Cam wins that game, Chris, he's dancing his ass off. He's dabbing all over the place. He's probably yelling in some Denver Broncos face. But you lose and you act like a big baby. Grow up.
The biggest problem I have with that whole thing is that of all the kids that are, looking up to that guy, and he's handing them the footballs, which I think is a great thing, but now he turns around and does this. So now all these kids are like, well, it's okay to be a sore loser. Now, the thing is Alex, I want to know, do you still have that clip you played at the beginning of the show? I want to know if you can maybe play it for me again.
You want to play that quick clip?
Yeah, I gotta, because I want to respond to that as part of my answer.
All right. Let me get on that.
Okay, well, I can keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate. I mean, he went from becoming, he started to turn his image around with all the stuff he was doing with the kids and the charity and all that stuff around the city that he plays in, and then he goes and does this. It's just, it's too bad with all these, kids that are looking up to him, and it just teaches these kids that it's okay to be a sore loser.
Right. Here it is, Chris.
Who likes to lose? You show me a good loser, and I'm gonna show you a loser.
Now, my question on that, Cam, is: so is your teammate Josh Norman a loser because he walked across the field and shook hands with Peyton Manning and told him how great he was and how much he idolized him? So I guess you're calling your teammates a loser, Cam.
Right. Exactly. Well, I know Adam has no remorse for Josh Norman, but that's a really good point, because it's just like you said. These people idolize these NFL players that work so hard to get here, to get there. They finally make it. They lose the big game, and it's completely shut down, and you act like a baby. I don't get it, dude. I get the spur of the moment. Oh, I lost the big game. I don't know how I'm going to ever get back. But you're not supposed to. Don't come off like a professional. Don't come off as a 13-year-old that got dumped by a girl for dating for 3 weeks because you used to hold hands at the rollerdrome. You know what I mean? Like, grow up, man. Come on.
Yeah. Man up. Hashtag man up to Cam.
Thank you. That's, I don't know. It's sickening.
Finally a
thing.
hashtag does not blame Chris.
Hashtag
That's
blame
right.
Chris for Cam Newton walking off the podium during an interview.
Like, to me, Cam wasn't the sole direct reason on why they lost that.
No, not at all.
But I'm going to go a couple of weeks before Blair Walsh kicked for the Vikings, and he was the sole reason they lost that game.
Yeah.
And he stood up and took all the blame, and he is the goddamn kicker. He's not the quarterback. He's not the face of the team.
Right.
Out of the 53-man roster, he's face number 52. And he stood.
That's a good point, Adam.
Yep. Absolutely. So Blair Walsh, is getting death threats. I can't believe you fucking did that. How could you miss a chip shot like that? But
yeah, look at Gostowski.
Yeah,
I mean,
even that.
Yeah.
So, like, is it really that hard for Cam to just say, he could, like today, he could have fixed everything that happened. It was heat of the moment. I apologized to the media. I was just super bummed out that we lost. And I'll take your questions. But, going forward, we're going to try to plug away and just try to kick some more ass and get back to the big game so that, we come back stronger and just play better. But no, he comes back today and he says, I'm not going to change who I am as a person. This is who I am. I'm a sore loser. I need to win. And then he goes on and pulls off that famous quote that I think everybody's going to be playing for the next 10 years. So I can't think of anything better to say than grow up. Just grow up.
What do you think the people that endorses him? I mean, think about this, okay? We speak of LeBron a lot in this podcast. Clearly, we have a big LeBron fan as part of our team.
Adam.
LeBron was the big spokesman for Beats last year. Where he's lifting weights. Well, this year they had Cam, okay?
Yep.
So Cam is the big Beats guy now, and he's the Gatorade guy, and he turns around and does something like that. Now, if I'm Apple and I'm paying Cam to endorse my product. I don't want him acting like that, like especially when those commercials are right in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Right. Exactly. Adam, do you think he loses endorsements for this?
I don't think so. I think this is going to pass. I think he's going to get killed for the next week or two. But just like every other NFL player that's done something stupid, eventually it all goes away. Keyshawn Johnson came out with that "give me the damn ball." You got T.O. I mean, you got a bunch of players that have done some things that they shouldn't have done, but I mean, it passes eventually. He has plenty of time. He's young enough to where he can do things to make up for this mistake, and I think he'll learn from it.
You think? Like with that
I
interview
think so.
today, that interview that he gave today to the media shows me that he doesn't have a friggin' clue.
Well, I don't know if it's set into him yet, to be honest with you. I mean, he's only a day or two away from losing the biggest game of his career.
You know, he goes on to say that, you know, he's not going to change for anybody. I'm not going to be, you know, who I'm not. You know, I'm not going to be a Brady. I'm not going to be a Manning. I'm not going to be a Rodgers, because that's not me. And I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with the other ways that he's been handling this thing, because he's just come off as a pompous ass and a big ass baby.
Yeah, and that wasn't like the quote that he gave today it irritated me, but that's not the thing that he did that's pissed me off the most out of all this. That was the fumble that he didn't even try to go get, which he came out and said because he didn't want to get hurt. Meanwhile, his linebacker on the other side is playing with a fucking broken arm. His defensive end has a broken foot. And he's worried about diving on a goddamn ball that could have potentially saved the game.
Yep. Because they were still down one score. They were only down one score.
Yeah.
The biggest game of your life. What are you doing?
I just don't understand why he didn't. I still, for the life of me, do not understand why he didn't try to run more. I just don't get it. I think he was so rattled in the beginning of that game. I think the moment got to him. I think he just the nerves got to him, and I honestly think he forgot how to play football for a good solid 10 minutes. And at that point, it was too late, and he couldn't.
Yeah, it was already too late. Once they scored that defensive touchdown, that was the game changer. And
I mean, that. If you think about that, if you're struggling, if you're nervous, if you come out and you're throwing the ball high, you're throwing the ball too hard, you're sacked, things that don't normally happen to a Cam Newton, right? And then all of a sudden, and then you get stripped, sacked, fumbled. I mean, what does that do to your psyche? What does that do to your confidence that you didn't have in the first place? It wrecks you. And honestly, I think when that play happened, I said to my son, this game is over.
I think a real MVP would have been able to bounce back, honestly.
I mean, I think Cam I think Cam is an incredible talent. He's got an incredible arm. He's
absolutely.
He's a physical freak, and I think he will. I think if he wants to come back and be a great player, he can be. If you recall, getting back to the endorsement thing again, he wasn't so heavily endorsed up until this year. Okay. Yep. Now, and that's because of how the MVP campaign and all this stuff, and the team going almost undefeated, and they were the talk of the NFL, and then he does have a chance to maybe lose some of these endorsements because he really didn't have a whole lot until this year. I mean, he had a few. He had, the Gatorade towel, and he here and there, but I mean, nothing huge like a Beats commercial or like a Nike commercial, and I think it could hurt him. But only Cam can regroup and rebuild. But if a guy like Cam with that kind of attitude and that kind of storming off in the middle of press conferences and just popping off at the mouth of such silly statements, I mean, he might not be able to come back. I mean, we don't know for sure. Right.
And I think you bring up a really good point. The only person that can fix this issue that Cam Newton is having is Cam Newton. So within the next month or so, I hope that he looks at this and realize how much of a jackass he looks like, because he looks like a huge donkey right now. Seriously.
And not only that, but he's a fairly intelligent guy, and he really came across sounding like an idiot.
Yeah, well, he comes off as the guy that stole laptops at Florida right now.
Exactly.
which is Adam's favorite Cam Newton moment.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
Adam
Cameron
Weiser.
Newton.
Huh?
Do
That's your
what?
favorite Cam Newton moment, man, when he stole laptops from Florida.
What a bum.
Yep.
Then he got money to school that he didn't even go play at. Well,
Right.
his dad got money. Sorry.
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
point.
that's another good one. But you know that we could do a whole podcast on people getting money in college.
I think
They should get money, but that's a whole nother story.
that's a hot topic for me, and I know it's a hot topic for a lot of people, and I definitely want to do a podcast on that because I think that's super interesting.
Ask the nation how they feel about a whole show. We could really fill up a whole show talking about that.
Yep. But not this show. We're running out of
Nope.
time, baby. So, really intern, Cam Newton, great player. Obviously a piss poor attitude. If he's winning, he's up like most people would be, but it's like out there, flamboyant, in your face. But if you lose, he doesn't lose with any amount of dignity, right? So just learn to have some class, man. Like Chris said, the only person that can fix this is you, Cam Newton. So even though I know you're not going to listen to this and give two shits about what we're saying, just look at yourself in the mirror, realize what the hell you're doing. Only you can fix it, asshole. So let's get into our real takes, man. Let me get some music going, get in some real takes, and we'll shut this down. Sorry we didn't get into NBA tonight, but we'll definitely going to get into some NBA on the next show because it's starting to heat up. You got trade deadline and, playoff spots are up in the air. You got teams that are on the cusp of being out and teams on the cusp of being in. So we're going to definitely get into that when the next week or so. I'd like to get into it next show, but if you guys, want to ask some questions for the NBA, definitely throw some ideas for Face the Nation and everything. So hit us up.
Would you like to hear my rumor?
Let's hear the rumor. I want the rumor. I wish I had a drum roll, but I'll just, play some music.
Okay, I think everybody that listens to this show by now knows that I am from the best part of the United States, the southern part.
Oh boy.
This ought to be good.
Oh
And
my God.
I have some sources in different locations.
Oh
And
boy.
one of my
What are you
one of my-
freaking? What are you like, Chris
what?
Broussard?
Hey,
Chris
hey,
Broussard? Adam Schefter?
Adam,
Yo,
the people from the States don't count as sources.
All right.
So let's get to it, man. I want to hear it.
Okay. So anyway, I got somebody that's on the in with a team, and that team is the Orlando Magic. And there is a rumor
Oh, where the hell is this going?
rumor
Jesus.
from him is that one Kevin Durant will sign with the Orlando Magic in the offseason.
Oh.
I don't even. Why?
Are you
Kevin
serious?
Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant was in Orlando about a week or two ago having a meeting with Rob Hennigan, who is the GM of the Orlando Magic. He is one of Kevin's best friends. So, I mean, that could have been what it was about, just meeting up, shooting the shit or whatever. But when he brought it to my attention, it kind of hit me like that's a pretty good move for KD. I mean, everybody's talking about LA
Okay.
or talking about
Because
Washington.
we're running out of time.
but-
Adam, give me two good reasons why Kevin Durant to Orlando makes sense, because I don't see it other than the fact that it's a young core. But Kevin Durant, it's not like Kevin Durant's old, but he's getting a little bit older. Don't you think he wants to be in a position to win like right away? The Magic are probably 2 or 3 years away from competing.
Not if they get a Kevin Durant, they're not. As soon as they get Kevin Durant, they're automatically a contender.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh my God.
It's a young team, and not only that, for the first time in his career, really, he'll be playing with a point guard in Alfred Payton, who is a pass-first point guard. He's not going to take the shots away from Durant like what Russell Westbrook does, or like John Wall would do in Washington.
I mean, Alex, you just got done saying to me yesterday when we were off the air again that you said to me that we were talking about Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. And now Russell Westbrook is a bona fide superstar, and you're telling me you take Kevin Durant on over Russell Westbrook 7 days a week, and
Yes,
now you're
I would.
telling me you can't automatically become a contender when you throw Kevin Durant on any team. If you
I'm
say
not
he's better than
saying-
Westbrook, isn't he an automatic contender?
I'm not saying that Kevin Durant doesn't turn anybody into a contender. I just think that there's better teams out there suited for Kevin Durant. That's all.
Okay.
Well, I
I'm-
agree. I agree with you that there probably are, but I kind of like the Orlando talk.
It's not like I hate him. I mean, don't sit here and think that like I don't like the Magic. I just think that there's better personnel for Durant to play with. Like,
I'm
look at
gonna
our
give you
team.
two more reasons, real quick.
Go ahead.
Reason number one, they're in the Eastern Conference. He's got to get out of the West.
True.
If any superstar in the West that's struggling to get to the championship gate level, the Eastern Conference is the way to go, because realistically, it's LeBron and nobody else. You only have to get through LeBron.
Don't forget about
Kelly
Don't
Olynyk.
forget about the rumor. He's also linked to possibly going to Golden State. The West, if he goes there.
But once again, he would be on a team where it's a point guard shoot first. He's the second option, maybe even the third, with the style of play that they
I
run.
get the justification, man. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Reason number two, no state tax in Florida.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
When you make the money that these athletes make, Florida is the place to be.
I'd be going to Florida.
You know what? If he goes to Orlando, I'll get you a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper, all right? I just don't
All right.
see it. I guess it's just
he
more or
goes-
less
and
under
then-
the radar because it's not something that you hear. You don't ever
So you-
hear about key free agents wanting to go play in Orlando. You know what I mean? So,
Alex, do you know what that means?
what?
It means that if he goes to Orlando, that you're going to be getting me a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper because Adam still owes me like 45 Dr. Peppers.
I thought this was settled with your 42-17 score. Am I wrong? No?
I
No,
think
we-
it was.
No, we never bet on that.
You guys are ridiculous. So Durant to Orlando, huh?
I can
Personally,
see
I
it
think he
happening.
fit. I think
It's a small market.
yeah,
He would be the guy. He doesn't have to share it with anybody.
yeah. Listen,
And I really think his career would take off.
I get it. It makes plenty of sense. I don't sit here and think that I'm bashing the rumor or Orlando or Durant for that. The fit, it makes sense. You know, on a team that is looking for that star player, Durant makes all the sense in the world because to me he's the second best player in the NBA. So it's just hard to see with the personnel that they got why he would go there. But it's not because they're young and they're really good. I really like Tobias Harris because I wanted him to come to Boston. There was a rumor about him coming to Boston during free agency. I really like Tobias Harris. So I'm sure he'd pair well with Durant. You know, it probably would make Tobias Harris a better player. But I just
And I look at it like this: Orlando has had 2 star players in the entirety of the franchise, Shaquille O'Neal and Dwight Howard. Albeit they're both big guys.
Penny Hardaway.
Penny wasn't a superstar. Penny was good, but he wasn't Shaq.
Penny
Yeah,
had
he was-
Sprite.
I think he was a star, though. Maybe not a superstar.
Penny had Sprite.
So Orlando's been pretty good at taking one star and building a team around him, because even though they didn't win championships with Shaq or Dwight, they made it to the finals.
I'm going to start throwing out a Durant to Boston campaign. I'm going to be begging and pleading to get him here.
I think
'Cause it makes
that would
sense
make-
for Boston. It makes
I think
plenty
we
of sense
should-
for Boston. They're like in the same boat as Orlando, you know, up and comer.
I'm going to pull a Cam Newton and walk off the set.
we should definitely
Let's walk
talk
off.
about this a little more on the next podcast, I think.
We should what?
Speaking of your Celtics, they took an L tonight.
Yeah, and I was watching the play-by-play, and there was a foul with 0.6 seconds left. Celtics had a lead at halftime. They got outscored 40-20 in the third quarter, and then they outscored Milwaukee by 18 in the fourth quarter. They tied it up with a second left, and they fouled someone. Must have been on the inbounds because I didn't get to see the whole game. I watched the play-by-play, and Chris Middleton hit one free throw and then missed the second one. I think it was intentionally, and we blew it. Celtics blew it. They had Durant. That wouldn't happen.
One more NBA thing real quick.
Right.
Aaron Gordon, your guy.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, I like him. I
You
mean,
think he's the best player
I
in the
just-
NBA? Let's be honest.
okay? Let's not get carried away.
Well, I just came across the slam dunk contest for this year, and he is in it.
He plays for the Magic, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I like Aaron Gordon. I like his length. I think he reminds me. He's probably right now. I just have to say he's a poor man's Blake Griffin. He has a similar game to Griffin. He's athletic. He can jump out of the gym. He's got to work on that outside shot. But yeah, I like him. I think he'd be great in the slam dunk contest.
Real quick before our real takes, who's going to win the slam dunk contest? I don't want an answer why. Just want the answer. And who's going to win the 3-point competition?
I think it's champ.
Who's going to win?
Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's your 3-point?
I don't know who's in it. Who's in the 3-point?
That's good.
All right, I'm gonna go. Andre Drummond is gonna win the slam dunk contest.
That'll be sick.
He doesn't even have to jump.
And Devin Booker will win the 3-point shootout.
All right.
What
That's
about
good.
Korver?
An underdog?
Korver, I like Korver in the 3-point contest.
I don't even think he's in it.
Well, that's the thing. All the guys that are the best 3-point shooters aren't even in the contest. If Steph
JJ's in it.
Steph's in it, he's gonna
Okay.
win it.
Chris, go ahead.
My 3-point guy is Steph Curry.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
And
It's
your
not too
dunk
easy.
contest guy, Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
So now I got to be objective because I was going to take Zach LaVine. You know what? No, I'm going Zach LaVine because he could jump out of the building. So anytime he does, a ferocious dunk, it looks better because he jumps out of the building. So I'm going Zach LaVine. I'm going to tail Chris on that. My 3-point guy, I knew on the page I wrote John Henson. That was a mistake. I meant Chris Middleton for the fact that people were talking about Steph and Harden up and down a storm. But I'm going to go underdogs, okay? I'm going to go either Kyle Lowry or Chris Middleton because they're expected not to win it. And typically you can expect the unexpected. So, it's a real takes, man. What's your real take, Adam? Go for it. Drop that knowledge, boy.
My real take for tonight's episode is Cam Newton is a chump.
Yep.
He proved it once again today. He's on quite a 3-day roll right now.
Yep.
Karma's a bitch. All the dancing, all the smack talk all year long. Came back, punched him right in the face, and he just doesn't know how to react to it. So, #man.
Yep. #grow up. Is that all you got for real take, buddy?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Chris alone tonight.
All right. I'm so proud of you. You've grown up.
Taking my own advice. #blame Chris, I guess.
Chris, what do you got? What's your real take tonight, buddy?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Alex, because I realized today on my real take that I'm going to make an awful lot of money when we working #blame Chris.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll just stop just because you said that.
Can you see it now, Chris? T-shirts, hats, big billboards in New York City.
Oh, I
With
can't
just
wait.
like
I'm
a
gonna wear 'em to-
like a confused picture of Chris on there.
That's perfect.
See Johnny Manziel in the courtroom in front of the judge after he beats up his next girlfriend. I'm sorry, Your
Alex,
Honor.
I gotta end it.
#blame Chris.
Let me end my real take with a something for you, Alex. I really, really hope now you don't want to see Johnny Manziel play football anymore. That guy does not deserve to play football ever again.
For what is coming out, absolutely not. I do not want to see him on the football field again, unless everything that she's saying is complete horse shit. I was listening to Rome today. I don't even listen to Jim Rome, and the stuff that he was reading about the affidavit that was out on him, I was like, holy shit. This guy better not step on a football field ever again. Ever.
Well, the thing is that even if like a third of it's true, it's still terrible.
It's still bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if the eardrum story's true, but oh my, if it is, holy,
Yeah.
an idiot.
What's your real take, buddy?
I'm going with the Cam thing. Cam. My real take is Cam has not shown any sign of maturity. His game matured, but his attitude didn't. So Hashtag grow up. And that's really it, man. I could go with the Johnny thing. Hashtag keep Johnny out of the NFL. I was really one of the only few Johnny backers out there, and it's just not going to happen now. So whatever. I don't feel bad.
To me, the Johnny's thing is not as bad as Greg Hardy's, but the difference is Greg Hardy has the talent and Johnny doesn't.
I think
true.
Johnny has talent.
Good point. Good point.
I think Johnny has the talent. I just think he's a spoiled, rotten little brat.
He's not going to get a chance to prove his talent.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Good. I'm glad. So, with that, man, that was a great show. That was a really good show. Thanks to Real Take Nation for the questions, and obviously, thank you for the support. We're gonna get you some music. We're gonna get Face the Nation music. So if you guys want to throw out some ideas for when we face the nation for some music, I'll throw it out there. I've got a little bit of an idea, but if you guys want something to listen to when we're talking Face the Nation, throw it out there. Obviously, if you guys got any questions, concerns, or any funny thing that you want to post, obviously post it on the Facebook page. Hit us up on Twitter at RealTakeNHB. Obviously, keep listening into the podcast. We're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud, and we're on YouTube. YouTube's allowing us to keep them on there because I reamed them out for trying to take off the first show. So they've been pretty good about that. So again, thank you to Real Take Nation. Adam, Chris, obviously it's always a pleasure. And I hope all of Real Take Nation, you guys have a good day tomorrow. Why not? You guys have a good night.
Deuces.